Hey, Tyler here, the Cash Flow Guys podcast. In this video, I want to talk about a few different ways that you can get leads for your real estate business that you might not have thought about. Let's go ahead and get started. First of all, if you like the content that you see today, make sure you like the video. And if you're not already a subscriber to my channel, please hit the subscribe button, smash that subscribe button. Let me know you love the content, you want to learn more. If you don't love it, I'll give you your money back 100%. Haha, that's a joke. Anyway, it's free. You get it, right? It's a joke. That means I can't give you your money back? Oh, come on. You don't think that's funny? Anyway, number one, code enforcement. You probably heard this one before, but what you'll see in a lot of your local municipalities, city and county, is they have a teardown list. That is a list of properties that are scheduled for teardown. If you need to make a couple extra 5-10 grand, get a hold of this teardown list. It's a matter of public record. They'll usually give it to you. You may have to go down there in person to get it, but get a hold of the teardown list from the local code enforcement office or the building inspector and reach out to those landowners. A lot of times they just think that their problem is insurmountable. It's too big for them to handle. They don't know what the solutions are. They don't have access to the same information that you and I as investors have access to. So those folks might be willing to get rid of their house for next to nothing. I'm sure that you can find a contractor or another investor, if you don't want the property, that you can find somebody else that does want the property that will give them some cash. So let's say, for example, you got a broken down mobile home on a nasty lot with a bunch of code violations. Well, talking to the owner, you find out all these issues. You reach out to the owner, you say, if I could solve this problem and I could get you, say, I don't know, $2,000 for your trouble, would it be worth your time? They say, yes, great. Now you reach out and find a buyer that says, hey, I'm willing to take on these problems. I'll cover the code violations. I'll cover the fees. I'll tear down the house or the trailer park or whatever. Make the county or the city whole. We will solve all the problems. But we need a ridiculous deal. Well, I'll tell you what, the owner needs $2,000. I need $5,000. So for $7,000, you can have this whole package. Investor says, heck yeah. You have them sign a contract, have the seller sign a contract, assign the contract. You can either do two contracts, one between you and the buyer and one between you and the seller, or one contract between you and the seller, and then assign your rights in the contract over to the new buyer. Great way to make some quick cash. The second one is the health department. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, HIPAA violations, that's a HIPAA violation. They can't share personal information with you. True. However, what you'll find is that the health department's not always just about health. It's also about people that are just having a rough time in general. And what you will find is that the workers at the health department, it's a tough job. They're probably there because they care, right? I didn't mean to make that rhyme. It just kind of happened. But they will find unfortunate situations. And if you have a bug in their ear and they know that you're a person that can go out and solve problems using real estate as a solution and maybe some cash, or somebody else's cash, you may get a phone call one day saying, I just had a young couple in here that just had they're going in for surgery and they can't afford their house. Don't know what the scenario would be. I'd be guessing, but it's still a good idea to reach out to people at the health department, maybe somebody high up in the food chain, and find out what type of solutions your business might be able to offer them as a real estate investor. Animal control officers. Why do I say this? Well, because people sometimes don't take good care of their dogs. Sometimes people don't take good care of themselves. Animal control officers are usually one of the first people. Gotta remember, everybody's got pets pretty much. Not everybody. I don't have pets. That's mainly because I don't like it when they get sick. It makes me sad. But a lot of folks have pets, especially a lot of poor folks and people having a hard time tend to have pets. That's demographic. That said, reaching out to animal control officers could help you get clued in when those situations come up, those problems come up. Let's say the crazy cat lady has too many cats in her house. Yes, I know, cat pee never goes away. But understand, you don't have to keep the house. Any problem is fixable if you have enough money to throw at it. I know, let's say you don't have enough money to throw at it, or you don't want to throw money at it. You just simply find someone else to do it. There's lots of people out there. What you don't want, I guarantee you somebody else probably does at the right price. The key, folks, to making money is if you're going to have something to sell, understand what your buying public is willing to pay for it. If you're willing to do that, you should be able to sell literally anything. Okay, it comes down to finding out what the other party is willing to pay, going back to the seller, negotiating that deal. You're Johnny or Janie in the middle. Make yourself 5, 10, 15, 20, 100 grand, doesn't matter. As long as you're adding value, there should be no throttle on what your spending is. City and county zoning and planning meetings. I'm telling you, I go to these things from time to time. I learn a ton. Number one, it's good to know what's going on in your community. Number two, you'll hear people making plans, right? Think about, let's say they're deciding to put a road through someplace. Well, that means additional traffic. So let's say you have an opportunity you see a failed commercial property. Maybe it'd be a good idea to get that property under contract or take an option to purchase on that property. That way, when that path of progress comes rolling through town, that property that you now have an option on at a lower price becomes available. You exercise the option. You can maybe wholesale that option to somebody else, assign that option to somebody else, buy it yourself, fix it up, change the use, all kinds of different ways you can make money there. Property tax collector, this should be obvious. I know a lot of you thinking, well, tax liens, right? No, that's not what I'm thinking. I'm saying use the tax collector's office as a source of lead generation. And here's what I mean by that. Most city, county, municipalities have their tax issues, their past due taxes online somewhere. Most, not all, but most. Find the one in your local county and figure out how to use their system. It's usually pretty easy. What you will see is a whole list of people that are having a problem, i.e. they're not paying their taxes, their property taxes. I'm not suggesting that you buy the tax lien. I'm not a big believer in the tax liens. I think it's oversaturated, but that's a story for the video. But I am a believer in you recognizing opportunity, reaching out to these people and saying, I was on the tax collector's office today. I see that you're behind on taxes, wondering if I might be able to come up with a solution. Have you ever considered selling your property? Yes, no, or go away. Lots of options there, right? But it's still a good way to get leads. It's a good way to reach out to people and get leads. My favorite go-to bar none source to get rental property in a hurry is Eviction Court, guys. Eviction Court. Go out to Eviction Court, sit there, listen. It's a great education. You'll find out who the good property managers are, who the bad property managers are. I'll tell you the little secret. The good property managers generally are not at Eviction Court. The bad ones are there pretty often. That's a good rule of thumb. So you want to go learn who not to hire? Go to Eviction Court. Write down the names of all the property managers that are there. That means they're probably not doing a pretty good job of controlling their tenants. If they're not doing a good job of controlling their tenants, you don't want them there. However, what you will also find there is a bunch of tired landlords. Tired landlords are a great resource. Here's the thing about tired landlords. They are used to collecting payments every month, right? They let somebody borrow their property in exchange for monthly payments. So they're already primed, ready to go for seller financing. So just think about that a little bit more on that later. Land banks is the last one. You'll see you can get properties a lot of times that are in a lot of major metros, Memphis, Atlanta, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, lots of big cities. Land for taxes that nobody bid on. Remember, you know what they say, that there's an ass for every seat, right? Well, and this is the case. For example, Memphis, Tennessee, there are thousands of properties in the land bank. Just because they're of no value to you doesn't mean they're not of value to somebody else. For example, the city of Memphis right now is going under a major redevelopment. Lots of money coming into Memphis, lots of development, lots of good stuff coming up. That said, wouldn't it be great if you could park yourself on some vacant land for a couple of years until things turn around? Well, problem is you don't have that disposable income, let's say, to do that. But what if you went and found those properties, you talked to somebody that has maybe a self-directed IRA or a traditional IRA, help them roll their money over to a self-directed IRA, they buy the land, maybe you buy it for $100 to $1,000 and sell it to them for $4 or $5 grand, or sell it to them on terms. Maybe you just leverage the capital from them and do it as a partner. They bring the money, you do the work, you get to work with the county, get the property under contract, buy it, close on it, sit on it and wait, right? It's a great strategy. It's a great way to make yourself money. If you found value in this video, please make sure you hit like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos like this. I hope you found value. If you have comments or you want to learn more, please leave some comments in the video below. Thank you very much and have a great day.